better than the old cycle programs that stalls because you got to keep recruiting people because they don't have a monthly auto ship. It's just a one-time payment of the old cycle programs. And I kind of like this because when I first seen it, I was kind of afraid of it until I really understood what was going on.
Yeah, I don't know how any cycler, at least like this, could survive with a single payment, because those would certainly break down over a period of time, because you couldn't continue to maintain commissions to the people who came in first unless you recruited an exponential number of people. In this case, our lines reset themselves based on the auto ship, and you end up being able to sustain because all the people in the line pay again, and it sort of continues it every month. So it's it works pretty well. But everybody who's in now clearly are in a much better position than the people who come in next August, next December. It's going to be fantastic for everybody who's on this call. So,
I mean, in about 20 days, if you cycled 10 times every day, in about 20 days, if you came in at the $30 package, you would be all the way at the very top of the chart. I mean, this is exciting. Am I wrong on that?
Well, it's true, yeah. Except if you come in at the higher number earlier than that, then clearly there's more money to withdraw.
Most definitely. And you come in at the second package, you shave off 5 days, and you come in at the 120, which is the 210. You shave off another 4 days. So, no, definitely. I've crunched the numbers, and I'm super excited about this. I'm super excited actually to go out and sit and have when we can have the app and show it to everyone. So, guys, that's it.
Reiterate here that it's very, very important, the individuals that got in this thing in the last 45 to 50 days, to really take advantage of your position, because on that first day, when that compression happens, I know my mind frame was, wait a second, we got 85,000 people in this thing, and I'm only going to benefit from 10 cycles, and then we're just going to pick up from the current data we're at right now. And I just want to emphasize with everyone that, just like you said, it's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. It will take one day, but it's going to mirror every single day independently, to where you're going to get your 10 cycles, if warranted, that day, and then it'll figure the next day and the next day. And then on the first day of this thing, when it turns on, after you do your batch run of the last 45 days, like you said, there's going to be a pretty big jump in the commission. And so the reason I say that and reemphasize that is because I know people have asked me that question, and I want to make sure that they know that really you hear right place, right time, and timing and momentum. That truly is a real scenario here, and you really want to make sure that you're aligned for that. And so that means that you have your position funded. And I know some people are sitting on the sidelines and saying, well, let's see if this goes off without a hitch. I tell you, man, get that out of your head. Take advantage of this 75,000 people or 85,000 or 90,000 people and where you fall on that line. So
put the company name in, and that'll work.
Okay. And I have a question on the cycles. I'm not clear. I was on a call one day. You said with the cycles, with the monthly payments. Now, when you cycle, let's say with the first person joined the company, and they cycle and keep cycling, and when the next month comes, do the system converts them back to number one spot, or do they stay at the spot they cycled at? If you understand.
Yeah, I do. They stay. Well, they're at a spot, and they continue to sort of shuffle around on a line. And the answer to your question is they stay at the same spot. But any given day they'll jump, to a new spot, and so they keep jumping to a new spot, and it's always new. Every time there's a cycle, you always drop to the bottom of the line, and that's really so it's not really a month's anniversary. There's no change when something clocks over like that. There's no repositioning. It's just sort of continuously going to the bottom, and that's really the bottom line. It just continues to shuffle. I guess that's the best way to put it.
And so on the anniversary date, when they pay again, they don't go back to their number one spot and start over, do they?
Well, what they'll do is they'll shuffle. That's one of the things. It's sort of like a drop into the bottom of the line, like a brand new paid position. So
that'll keep
you. Yeah, that keeps the lines active, and every payment that comes in, is something that we need to pay commissions on. So we take the person who has that anniversary and the re-up and the auto ship, if you will, if you want to call it that, and that recurring payment triggers them to drop to the bottom of the line again, and that's treated as a paid. And other people cycle because of that payment that's coming in. Okay,
yeah,
so
that's what threw me off on it when I first seen it, because it didn't make sense to me. How can a person keep continually earning if the person go back to the top spot? Now that clarifies.
Well, yes, because it never really. Well, I guess it depends how you look at it. It's all relative. If you're looking at it from the 30,000-foot view, you're always at the bottom spot. But if you're, from your perspective, it's the top spot. Because you're waiting to see the people coming in under you, because that'll trigger a commission payment to you or a cycle to you.
And so,
you don't take a top spot. You take that spot at the bottom, and then continue to wait for the next page to come in, and that's what continues the cycle.
And you can only cycle 10 times out of that day for that first paid position. And so,
yes, 10 times a day, and that's capped simply because we can't afford to pay out any more than 10 a day. And so, for every 4, you cycle 1 time, and that would mean another 4 you'd cycle 2 times. So if you do the math, if 40 people come in, you've done your 10, and you're going to stay in that position until the next day and wait for the next 4.
Mm-hmm. And so this is ingenious, because it's way better than the old cycle programs that stalls, because you got to keep recruiting people because they don't have a monthly auto ship. It's just a one-time payment of the old cycle programs. And I kind of like this, because when I first seen it, I was kind of afraid of it until I really understood what was going on.
Yeah, I don't know how any cycle, at least like this, could survive with a single payment, because those would certainly break down over a period of time, because you couldn't continue to maintain commissions to the people who came in first unless you recruited an exponential number of people. In this case, our lines reset themselves based on the auto ship, and you end up being able to sustain because all the people in the line pay again, and it sort of continues it every month. So it's it works pretty well.